Hey everyone, welcome back. We're so glad to have you here. Today we're diving into a fascinating topic, the top 5 countries that could become part of the USA in the future. But before we get started, make sure to subscribe, like, and share this video. It really helps us out a lot. First up is Canada, a country that's practically joined at the hip with the US. This vast nation, known for its stunning landscapes and friendly people, shares more than just a border with its southern neighbor. We're talking about a shared border that stretches for over 5,500 miles. That's like driving from New York City to Los Angeles and back, and then some. This extensive border is the longest undefended border in the world, symbolizing the trust and cooperation between the two nations. Canada and the US are like siblings, sharing a lot of cultural DNA. From sports to entertainment, the two countries have a lot in common. We watch the same TV shows, listen to the same music, and even argue about the same things like who makes the best maple syrup. This cultural exchange has created a unique bond that transcends borders. But beyond the cultural connections, there's a strong economic bond between the two countries. Trade and commerce flow freely across the border, benefiting both economies. Canada is America's largest trading partner, and the two economies are deeply intertwined. This economic partnership supports millions of jobs and fosters innovation and growth on both sides. This close relationship has led some people to wonder, could Canada and the US ever become one big, happy North American family? The idea, while intriguing, raises many questions about identity and sovereignty. There are historical precedents, like when some Canadian provinces considered joining the US back in the 1800s. These moments in history highlight the complex and evolving relationship between the two nations, and let's not forget the whispers of a North American union that pop up every now and then in political circles. Such discussions, though speculative, reflect the deep connections and shared interests of the two countries. Of course, there are also plenty of reasons why a merger might not happen. Differences in political systems, healthcare, and social policies are significant barriers. Canadians are fiercely proud of their independence and their unique identity. This pride is a testament to the rich history and diverse culture that define Canada as a nation. Next up, let's head south of the border and talk about Mexico. The relationship between the US and Mexico is a bit more complicated than the one with Canada. We've got a history full of both cooperation and conflict, and the current political climate hasn't always been the friendliest. But beneath the surface, there's a deep connection between these two countries. Mexico is the US's third largest trading partner, and there are millions of people who have family and cultural ties on both sides of the border. Plus, let's not forget the vibrant Mexican-American culture that thrives in so many parts of the US. So, could these two neighbors ever become something more? Some believe that a closer union could benefit both countries. Imagine a future with free movement of people and goods across the border, more integrated economies, and richer cultural exchange. Of course, there are major challenges to overcome, like immigration issues and economic disparities, but maybe, just maybe, a future where the US and Mexico are more closely linked could lead to greater understanding and cooperation. Chapter 3, Puerto Rico, from territory to state. Our next potential addition to the US is a little different because it's already part of the US, sort of. Puerto Rico, a vibrant island in the Caribbean, has been a US territory since 1898. Puerto Rico is currently a U.S. territory, which means its residents are U.S. citizens, but they don't get to vote in presidential elections and they don't have full representation in Congress. This unique status creates a sense of limbo for many Puerto Ricans. For years, there's been a debate raging in Puerto Rico about whether to remain a territory, become an independent nation, or take the plunge and become the 51st state. This debate touches on issues of identity, economics, and political power. Those who support statehood argue that it would give Puerto Ricans full political rights and access to federal funding. They believe that statehood would bring equality and a stronger voice in the federal government. They point out that Puerto Ricans serve in the U.S. military and pay taxes, so they deserve to have a say in how their country is run. This argument is rooted in the principle of no taxation without representation. Plus, they argue that statehood would boost the island's economy and create jobs. The potential for increased investment and development is a significant factor for many. On the other hand, opponents of statehood worry about losing their cultural identity and becoming just another star on the American flag. They fear that the unique Puerto Rican culture could be diluted. They're concerned about the potential impact on their language, their traditions, and their autonomy. The preservation of their rich cultural heritage is a top priority for many, and some worry that statehood would make Puerto Rico more vulnerable to exploitation by U.S. corporations. They fear that economic control could shift away from local hands. It's a complex issue with no easy answers, but one thing's for sure: the future of Puerto Rico is closely intertwined with that of the United States. The decision will shape the island's destiny for generations to come. Chapter 4: Greenland. A strategic iceberg, and maybe a future state. Remember when former President Trump expressed interest in buying Greenland? It might have sounded crazy, but there's historical precedent for this kind of thing. The U.S. has purchased territory before, like the Louisiana Purchase and the Alaska Purchase, which dramatically expanded the size of the country. So why would the U.S. be interested in buying Greenland, a giant island mostly covered in ice? It's strategically located in the Arctic, a region that's becoming increasingly important due to climate change and new shipping routes. Plus, Greenland has a lot of natural resources like oil, gas, and rare earth minerals, which are essential for modern technology. Of course, the idea of buying Greenland didn't go over so well with the people who actually live there. Greenland is an autonomous territory of Denmark, and they made it very clear that they're not for sale, but maybe someday in the future, the U.S. and Greenland could come to some kind of agreement that benefits both sides. Maybe a free trade agreement or a joint venture to develop those natural resources. Chapter 5. The Bahamas Paradise Found, and maybe annexed? Last but not least, let's head to a place that practically screams vacation: the Bahamas. This stunning archipelago is a dream destination for many, with its crystal-clear waters, white sandy beaches, and vibrant marine life. This archipelago of islands is just a stone's throw from the coast of Florida, and it's a popular destination for American tourists seeking sun, sand, and maybe a little bit of duty-free shopping. The proximity makes it an easy and attractive getaway for those looking to escape the hustle and bustle of everyday life. But beyond the beaches and resorts, there's a deeper connection between the Bahamas and the U.S. The relationship extends far beyond tourism, touching on economic, social, and political aspects. For one thing, the Bahamas is a major transshipment point for goods flowing into the U.S., which means it plays a vital role in the American economy. The ports here are bustling with activity, ensuring that goods move efficiently between the two nations. Plus, the two countries have close ties in areas like law enforcement and disaster relief. Cooperation in these areas ensures safety and security for both nations, fostering a sense of mutual trust and support. And let's not forget the cultural exchange that happens when millions of Americans visit the Bahamas each year. This interaction enriches both cultures, creating a blend of traditions, cuisines, and experiences that are unique to this region. So could this tropical paradise ever become part of the U.S.? It's a tantalizing thought given the close ties and shared interests. There have been times in history when the Bahamas was under British rule, and there were even movements to join the U.S. back in the 19th century. These historical moments highlight the ever-evolving relationship between the islands and larger powers. Of course, the Bahamas is now an independent nation, and they seem to be doing just fine on their own. The pride and resilience of the Bahamian people are evident in their thriving culture and economy, but maybe someday in the future the allure of becoming the 51st, or 52nd, or 53rd who's counting state will be too strong to resist. Only time will tell what the future holds for this beautiful paradise. Thanks for watching. What do you think about these countries potentially becoming part of the U.S.A? Let us know in the comments below. We love reading your thoughts and getting into some friendly debates. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video for more interesting content. We'll see you in the next one.